Hello everyone, welcome. It is the team news reaction show. Liverpool at Atletico Madrid. The Wanda Metropolitano awaits the home, of course, of both us lifting the European Cup for the sixth time and a really crap game of football in the Champions League a couple of years ago. Let's hope it's more the former than the latter. Anyway, the two top teams in Group B going head to head. The teams are out, and I have got at the board to go through it the man, the legend, Mr. Chris Pajak.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Red Men TV. The team is out. It caught us a little bit by surprise. A lot by surprise. The team, one surprise only though. Alisson obviously goes back into net. We all thought that would happen. Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Trent Alexander-Arnold is the back four in front of the Brazilian goalkeeper. Looks like Jordan Henderson will probably keep his place at the base of the midfield three because the midfield is unchanged from the weekend, with James Milner looking to start alongside Naby Keita. I'm assuming at this point that Naby's going to stay on that right-hand side and Milner on that left-hand side with Henderson in the six, but you never know with Jurgen Klopp. The front three, the lads who scored the 5 goals at the weekend, Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino, remain unchanged. As far as substitutes go, we know we've got 12 of them, so it's literally all the lads that went, other than the lads that are on the field. So we've got Adjin, we've got Kelleher, we've got Konate, we've got Phillips, we've got Gomez, we've got Chimikas, we've got Nico Williams, we've got Ox, Fabinho, Minamino, Divock Origi and Diogo Jota. Now, I was a little bit surprised not to see that lad there in at the 6. Because I just thought it was nailed on that he'd start in the 6. So I don't know whether there's an issue. I doubt it, because otherwise he'd be on the subs bench, or whether Jurgen's just decided these lads are going to sit back. I'm not going to need Fabinho for this one. Rest his legs for Manchester United in the hardest on paper Champions League group game that we've got, which is away to Atletico Madrid. But maybe he's also thinking a different way. Maybe he's looking at this and going, do you know what? Henderson, Milner and Naby Keita played fucking brilliantly at the weekend, so they all deserve to start. Now, you might question why Kelleher therefore got dropped. Well, that's Alisson's fault. He's just better than him. No disrespect to Kelleher. Kelleher could probably walk into 15 of the top sides in the Premier League.
There's few world situations where if someone said, yeah, we're just going with Alisson ahead of you, you'd be like, yeah, fair enough.
It's fine. Yeah, I understand. Look at that magnificent beard that he's got. That will be the reason number one. Second, of course, is that he's a better goalkeeper. But I'm kind of liking that midfield. The front three deserve to start, and if that means a little bit more time for Diogo Jota to get up to speed, then I'm absolutely sound with that. Obviously, we've got more substitutes in the Champions League. I expect, and I don't know whether you agree with this, Paul, but I wonder, I had an inkling, to be honest, that Chimikas might get a start in this with Manchester United at the weekend, but I did sort of hedge me bet a little bit, mate, and said, like, look, Chimikas is one of those people who can change the game, because if it's set pieces you're looking for or something like that, we may see Chimikas even if it's 0-0.
Maybe. Yeah, it's possible. It's entirely possible. And because of the 5 sub thing, I think it's more likely as well. I think he'll come on today. I think we'll see a similar thing to the weekend, because you can. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just bring Chimikas on and give Andy Robertson a few minutes off so that he's as spry as possible for the weekend game? Same with Trent as well.
Yes, spry.
Hi, welcome back.
He's spry.
Okay. We shot across from our satellite studio
I'll
there.
tell you what, mate. Feels like it's getting further away.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone asking the question, in fact, LFC Mav, saying, is Kurt Jones injured or just not made the squad? He's fit, but he's not made the squad because he's only just come back to training, so they've left him at the exit.
Yeah, he wasn't in full training, was he? Jurgen said, and so he said they'll leave him in Liverpool and hope that he starts full training by the time the team are back and stuff, which that could say that he's going to be involved in the Manchester United game, maybe, or it might not.
Yeah, it just means he's an option. He's more likely to be an option. They've clearly decided his fitness return is better served by being
not on a plane
than not on a plane and not on the bench and not going through the motions.
What was wrong with him?
I can't remember. Honest answer. Okay. Can't remember.
I won't put you on the spot again.
Yeah, no, by all means. Ethan McSpurren, who's been a wonder kid for 6 months here on YouTube. Well done. Fab may be out to make way for the mid three to break down Atleti defence. Did the business versus Watford. And that's a good point in terms of the midfield balance and the creativity of that midfield. It depends what they think about what they're thinking from Madrid. They might, is it a case of? I mean, it shouldn't be underestimated that Alisson and Fabinho have basically just been in a hotel room for 4 days now. They're allowed to come out to train, but it's not like they're not like free range, as it were, like all the other players. So
like caged.
Yeah, you know,
caged Brazilians.
That's what they effectively are being. That was Klopp's.
How many eggs do you reckon we got out of them?
How many eggs did they put into themselves?
Free range in chicken terminology is like 2 foot, by the way. It's not even a big thing.
The battery hens we've got there in the battery Brazilians. Klopp complained about this because again, it's just things like you're only allowed to go out to specifically train, so it's not like they can go out for a jog on their own or they can go to certain places. So
they can't jog even though that's training.
No, but you're only allowed to exit your bubble for a certain amount. That was the most updated.
It's like me going for a jog to the co-op for some milk, but just having to run on the spot. Yeah. Can I do that because I'm training?
No, because it's...
Damn it!
No.
So I can't even have milk?
No, because they've got to go to a... It's like
why would you do this to me?
Yeah. But either way, yeah, not good. So I think that's the reason why Fabinho's not playing, is that it's different for Alisson because he's the goalie. You can just drop him in, whereas Fabinho won't have been there doing proper preparatory work for this game, and he'll have been a bit more cooped up than he would have been, so he's probably not quite there. He'll come on with half an hour to go, I'd imagine, just to make sure that he's
got some minutes in the legs before United.
100%, yeah, definitely. Because I think he actually played that last game for Brazil against Uruguay, and Alisson didn't as well, so there's another thing where they just want to make sure that as many lads are spot on, and that makes sense. It's mad because we were having this discussion. I don't know if we did it on the show or not, but this potentially is the harder of the 2 games. Now, I've since listened to some podcasts talking about Atletico Madrid, and they're a little bit more disrespectful of Atletico's level and chances and what have you. But it's mad that we might end up putting a stronger side out at the weekend for Man United. And we've got the ability to do that because, you know, that's the beauty of Milner, is he can come in, he'll do a really good job, but you also don't need to play him on Sunday. Ideally, you'll just bring Fabinho back in, and you can move Henderson up and move people across.
And if Jones is fit and available, Jones can go back in there. I was never... I think I said this to you a week ago, whether it was on camera or not. I was never really sure this was the hardest game in the group, because I think... although their fans understand that it's how Atletico Madrid play, away from home they are going to do it even worse, I think, than at home. So it's harder to break them down. I think maybe away from home you just don't know. I think on the grand scale of things, it's probably just as difficult wherever you are against Atletico, because they're probably going to play exactly the same.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, and I mean to the point, we couldn't land a decent glove on them last time we played there, whereas
we played really well.
We should have beat them at Anfield, and it's just goalkeeping mistakes that cost us really on the night in that one. So yeah, again, and in that regard, it's going to be interesting to see Atletico. I mean, the general analysis of these is, yes, they won La Liga, but it wasn't a strong La Liga. It wasn't a particularly like, oh, this is like the cream rising to the top kind of situation. They've struggled a bit for goals. They've not been as good defensively this season as well.
He's changing them a little bit though, isn't he? He's moving them a little bit from what I've read anyway, away from that, what we would think Atletico Madrid is. But judging by the lack of goals, it's not working quite yet.
Well, yeah, let's have a quick look then at the Atletico 11, which we've got up here. It is Jan Oblak in goal. They've got a back 3 there of Hermoso, Kondogbia, and Felipe. Kieran Trippier starts in the right wing-back position, and Carrasco on the left, Rodrigo De Paul, Koke, and Thomas Lemar. That's a mad one for position for me anyway, for Thomas Lemar to be in, if that's the case. But it's Griezmann and Joao Felix starting up front for them, and I will get bored of doing the Joao thing. And I used to always say Joao, and then I met Joao Teixeira, and he put me straight on it, and it's been in my head ever since. Joao Felix. The Thomas Lemar stuff, he played from the left against Barcelona the other week. It's mad. It'd be mad if he played from the right of a midfield 3, but he's their pace. He's like definitely one of the additional threats for them. I've got no idea how this should go. I'm fearful of them, but I've got my sneaking feeling, Chris, and these are probably the stronger of the 3 teams in the group, and as evidenced by the fact they're second in the group so far. But I think they're all of a pretty good level. I think we maybe feel now Porto and Milan are kind of worse than they probably are, but we're boss. Like, we're really, really good. We should be very confident of finding a way to get a win here.
I think the closer I've got to the game, sometimes you go to a big game and you get more nervous and stuff. With this and the way that Liverpool sort of played at the weekend and have been playing, I'm feeling more confident about it because I think we're just a better side than we were last time at breaking teams down when we played them. And having now played them the first time, obviously away from home, and struggling to then see that we were able to break them down at Anfield gives me confidence, because I think defensively they're not going to do anything different.
Yeah.
It's always on the attacker to break the defender down, isn't it? They're going to sit with the same lines in the same positions. He's not going to have moved the centre-halves 5 yards apart. Like there's not that much you can do when you are a defensive side, but there is things that you can do as an attacking side to try and change their defensive shape. Yeah. So I just think that now, having gone into the third game against them, admittedly a while apart, 18 months or whatever, that Liverpool know exactly what Atletico are going to do, and they are going to be more on it to try and break them down and score goals.
And, just to borrow a line that Thiago's father from the Red Sea podcast has been very heavily run, the revenge tour continues. To have Watford and Atletico Madrid back to back, there's something here. The two biggest disappointments of the title winning season was losing the unbeaten run, or the winning run as well, to Watford, and obviously getting knocked out of the Champions League by Atletico. And there is a nice sort of symbolism, synergy and all that going on for this. I just want to say welcome aboard. Aaron Lunn has just joined us, a wonder kid here on YouTube. That's absolutely splendid. You get access to the members only chat in the post-match reaction show. Thank you so much. And there's a bonus video show for you guys every week at Wonder Kid and the Cult Hero, which is the final word show on a Monday, live streamed. We had a good question here.
Hang on, no Suarez, mate. We've not spoken about it yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Just quickly though, before we do talk about that, Jamie Harrison says, just for the chat, you can only win one match, Atletico or Man U. Choose one. Man U. Yeah, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. We can afford, bad as it may sound, I wouldn't want to go into Old Trafford having lost tonight, because I don't think that, I think it'll make it feel like it's a harder game to win, but we can afford to lose this game and then win even if we only won our next two, we'd probably be out the group anyway. So yeah, I agree with that. No Suarez,
but also I want my cake and I want to eat it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want both. I want to win both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, man.
Absolutely. Suarez, I think it's the right decision, to be honest. He's played a lot of football as well, to be fair, from an Atletico perspective.
Yeah, just in total.
Yeah, well, in his life, but he's mid-30s now. He's well past his prime. He's not as fast as Moore. He doesn't have the depth of stamina that he's had previously, and he's played a lot of footy.
The thing with Griezmann is, over, let's say if it was a straight swap, Griezmann works so hard for the team, and I'm not saying Suarez doesn't, but I think Griezmann can go longer, and I just don't know whether Suarez is, and take it with a pinch of salt, because I obviously don't watch Atletico Madrid all the time, but him in a defensive shape against Liverpool, when you are probably expecting Liverpool to have loads of the football and want him to be tearing around, sometimes strikers do that and they've got nothing to give at the other end anymore. Griezmann, he never had anything to lose at the other end, did he?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, Antoine Griezmann is one of those mad footballers that I have very little knowledge and understanding of how he plays or what. I've never really watched him play as a footballer.
I think you're in the same boat as him.
Yeah, well, he does
work hard, and he normally plays off the left-hand side slightly. He played really well for France, like, you know what I mean? I've seen probably more of him for France than anything, so as a club footballer, that's different. So I've got his Barca too. He literally did all the running for the Barca team.
Yeah, I've got his stats up for this season so far. 8 La Liga appearances, just 553 minutes, no goals, no assists. 2 appearances in the Champions League with the 1 goal, so that's 1 in 10. He's got so far 660 minutes played. He's played centre forward, behind the strikers and right wing, but yeah, predominantly as a second striker for them so far this season. Mick, I mean, again, he's been underwhelming. I think everyone expected a lot more. I'm interested to know what Antoine Griezmann is, and I don't really care. I prefer him to be a shit Antoine Griezmann. I prefer him to be Barcelona's Antoine Griezmann than previously Atletico Madrid's Griezmann, and I just wonder whether this might give him a bit of a spark, because he's come back, and I imagine it's a bit like going when you go to the senior team and then you come back to the 23s, and that's very disrespectful to Atletico, but I mean, and he's had his big, my God, he did his announcement of which club am I going to sign for thing, if we all remember that. He's gone to Barca, flopped, and then he's back at Atletico, and there's a little bit of there's an ego thing there of how do you get yourself back to the level that you were at previously. Hopefully it doesn't start tonight.